let's go into calls, and let's start off with Will in Texas. Will, you're live with Eric.
Hey Eric, thanks for taking my call. I recently ran into a situation talking to somebody who was genuinely convinced that Romans 1:20 was a good approach to understanding unbelievers, which is to say that it doesn't at all. It just simply asserts that we're all lying. And I'm wondering what's a good way to respond to that, to point out how uncharitable it is, and really how much of a that just destroys a conversation, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so interesting that I can feel, that memory of thinking that was convincing. If you have a worldview where God has inserted knowledge of himself into your brain, then everyone must be lying. And I think a little bit of compassion at first is probably important, because just imagine this person's view of the world if they think that everyone is lying like that. Like, that has got to be a scary ass world for them. But I think that if they want to have a conversation with you, they need to recognize it's a two-way street. So all you have to do is say, it sounds like you are disregarding what I have to say. And if that's the case, then there's no point in having a conversation. If you'd like to treat me like a person who has autonomy and is not lying to you, I'd be happy to talk. But if you're not going to act like a grown-up, then you can't sit at the grown-ups table. And that's it. I know it must be, it would be really nice if we could bring, family members and friends to that point where we can have that discussion. But until they deserve it, bringing them there now isn't doing them any favors, I think. And that's just my opinion.
Yeah, that's a good point. I, like many atheists, have probably a few different ways we would approach things with family members as we were coming out of our religion. And I'm in the same situation that many of you are, that my family, my birth family, doesn't talk to me anymore. And it's difficult and it's frustrating, and I know that a good part of that is because of my own approach to it. And that this whole idea, this assertion that I wasn't really genuinely trying, I'm just lying about everything now, and all of this is just, I don't know how to deal with that in an amicable way. And so
no, well, the idea that it's amicable is bullshit. I mean, it's the same thing. You see conversations where people think, oh yeah, let's just talk logically about whether or not you deserve autonomy or the right to be viewed as a person. Oh yeah, how come you can't be distanced from that? It's like, because you're questioning whether or not I'm a human, or have the ability to behave as a human. It's atrocious. You don't need to necessarily be angry about it. All you got to do is say, you are not recognizing that, and because of that, you don't get to have a conversation with me. They can they can hype themselves up all day long, but when it comes to whether or not they want to talk to you, yeah, you have power in that. It takes two.
Yeah, that's roughly how I handled this most recent thing. But just trying to figure out if there's a better way, if there are better approaches, because that one is just difficult. It almost seems like something that you want to hit from the beginning of the conversation, rather than getting way into it and it becoming the assertion that I'm just lying about everything. And
yeah, it's super frustrating. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying, thanks for your time. That's all I've got.
Yeah, absolutely. I wish that there was a magic bullet answer. I wish that there was a way that we could speed things along and get people to the point where they can recognize each other and listen to each other. But that, and it's actually also a stark contrast to that, which is kind of wild. There's also the verse that if you believe and left, then you are never one of us.
Right.
And that doesn't really gel well with with Romans 1:20. But
Contradictions in the Bible, news at 11.
exactly. Hey, Will, thank you for calling in, and best of luck.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Have a good one.
You too. Take care. That's rough. I don't know. But I am just one person, and I think that if you have a solution that has worked for you, I would love to read it in the comments. Let's see what you think, because I'm just one person. Okay.